Good day, viewers at home. Welcome to American Corner Cape Town Power Talk. My name is Nombulelo Joel. I am serving as a front office manager at American Corner. As we are still celebrating Women's Month with stories of motivation, success, empowerment, and stories of transformation, fortitude and upliftment are a common thread in the narrative of a woman who makes a difference. The purpose of this Power Talk is to inspire and motivate the community with the story of women in leadership. We want to inspire women to embrace options and opportunities in various sectors, share success stories, and inspire the community to embrace the challenges related to the journey. On our Power Talk today, we have Mushfiqoh Samodien. She is a formidable force in the IT space and has been involved as a speaker at numerous events, including Live Check Masterclass, Africa.com, Africa Tech Week, and many more. She has worked herself up and together with her business partner, built a multi-millionaire company. Her work experience spans across FMCG, oil and gas, finance, business consulting, and change and transition management. This experience has effectively equipped her to play an integral role in the design aspect of a business transformation and applied use of business system. With 16 years of experience in the IT environment, she has worked on both local and international enterprise information technology projects in both private and public sectors. Her company now offers learnership through Inspire Academy and are actively working to establish internal internships program based on the Aspire technology template which they have developed. So Mushfiqoh, welcome to our Power Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. And, I can always sit and listen to the way things are introduced. But first and foremost, I can thank you as American Corner for allowing me the opportunity to be on a platform such as this and purely share my journey.
Well, thank you so much for honoring our invitation as well at our Power Talk to inspire other women. So, Mushfiqoh, you can just explain or introduce yourself to our viewers at home. Who are you professionally?
Okay, so professionally, I like to start at the beginning because we all start somewhere. I am definitely part of Generation Y, and that is without giving away my age. Someone who was not fortunate enough to follow through with, I'd say, tertiary education post-matric, but I worked on upskilling myself and worked as a temp worker for 4 years to gain experience and to kind of understand what path I was getting myself into. Because we sit in a situation today where matriculants are at crossroads, especially with the current pandemic that we are in, where there are so many opportunities in the entrepreneurial realm. So what I chose to do was establish myself and understand my passion, which has come out in this last 16 years being within technology. I studied biocorrespondence, tried an undergrad in BCom law, still finding my feet, jumped between industrial psychology and finance. And lo and behold, my passion is in IT. I addicted to the tangible change and the value that is seen within organizations. So my focus to keep with the ever-changing technology went on more focused, accredited courses, internationally accredited courses, where I found my passion in project management, business analysis, change and transformation, as you've said, and clearly more as a people's person. I mean, following on to the introduction that you've given, it's the fact that Aspire Solutions is run by myself and my business partner, Mike Stein. And even though there are titles and, accolades of success that follow through to the point that you've gotten, what's most important is building a trusting relationship with not just your service providers or your clients that you are engaging with, but more within your environment of the services you are willing to actually put out there, and more so trust within yourself. So professionally, I currently hold the title as Business Director at Aspire Solutions, And prior to that, I can say I've held most of the titles within the IT space, linked to project management, analysis, change management, training, you name it. So everything that supports the implementation of developed software. So I'm hoping that sets a better and lighter tone for the viewers to understand who it is that you're speaking to today.
Wow, thank you so much. I like the fact that you are saying you establish yourself. Sometimes we are looking for people to establish us, whereas God has, I believe, He has given us the mind. He has given us a ability to do so. So thank you so much for that introduction. As you were saying that to build even the relationships, it is so important. That is so good. I think as a business people, sometimes we don't care mostly about how to build the relationship. You just give the services and you don't care. You don't do any maybe going back to them. So to build those relationship. So in that, we thank you so much for sharing with us. So Mush, I will call you Mush.
Yeah, I think we over the technical part now. So let's get into it on building our relationships. So I'm good with Mush.
Okay. So Mush, what motivates you or inspire you? Or who are your role models?
Okay, so who and what motivates me and inspires me? So my motivation was the world around me. Not growing up with a white picket fence childhood. I became a self-starter with my parents and my grandmother as my first role models. My grandmother being part of the apartheid era and becoming one of the first women of color within a management position, general manager within the area. So I stay in Cape Town of Claremont. My mother being a woman in transport, another industry that is male-dominated, and my late father with the constant push where, although his key focus was to support and uplift the community, he also passed this world with, his last title being the vice president at a prominent oil company. But more so the impact that he held on the community and the people around him, that made me realize that we had greater purpose. So later on, my motivation to be a role model to my 3 daughters and realizing that with the current generation and society pressure, how important it is to love yourself. And technically, this is not possible without a strong bond of faith, which has been a guiding force for me. So generation timing aligned, I'd say a silly one that I can bring up that I thought of instantly was, I'm sure people within my generation and even further along the line, people who know Will Smith, watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So Vivian Banks, the mother in the story, we always focused on the storyline and not the object. There could be people that you call that she was working towards a PhD. So many might not have noticed it because of the media and the influence and the hype and fun around The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all the comedy related to it. But there was a storyline with a woman of color in the space that she was and motivating her kids, but also studying towards a PhD. And then linking it to faith. I think one of the most important things and being my strongest line of motivation and survival is as you also alluded to earlier, is your element of faith and, the being grateful for what we've been given. And if we look to someone that our prophet, his first wife, Khadija radiallahu anha, so she served as an example to many women and Muslim women who came after her. Strong, savvy, successful in all pursuits, standing professionally around alongside the Prophet in an unwelcoming world. But she became a pillar that is still recognized and celebrated today, more than 1,400 years later. Then we look closer to home. There's Rania Nasha, first female CEO at the commercial bank in Saudi Arabia. So if you look at the people around us that are able to make a difference, and I purposely used the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because our society is strung by social status and social standards at the moment. And then more so, and this goes without saying, my current business partner, Mike Stein, an ex-engineer with a natural inclination to educate and empower others. So looking up to your partner creates grounds for mutual respect and continued motivation to not let each other down. So I know it's a one-line question that you posed, but it's important to show that it's easy to respond and say, look, this is my role model and someone that you think of instinctively. But it is also when I use the word enablement and, setting my foundation and ensuring that I was forging something ahead for myself. It is people across generations and people who inspire me that play a part in my character and who I want to be as authentically as possible. To be a role model to, as I said, firstly, my daughters and anyone else around me. They need to know what makes up who I am. So I'm hoping that's enough for you.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you so much. I like the fact that first it started home. Yeah, we sometimes look outside for people to be our role models, and then that has helped you even to grow as well, having the desire as well to be the same role model to your own 3 beautiful baby girls. So that is so amazing. Thank you so much. So are there other women leading in your particular sector, and how competitive is the career space relating to gender?
So you see, that's a tricky one because off the top of my head, obviously trying to keep abreast with leading women within the technology sector, we'd go generally to Kimberly Bryant, who's the founder and CEO of Black Girls Code, Elizabeth Churchill, who is the director of user experience at Google, Kate Crawford, who's the co-founder of New York's University and AI Now Institute, Safra Katz, the CEO of Oracle. So I purposefully mention this because all the renowned women all the women that I've mentioned now are within renowned platforms such as and more within the technical space of Oracle, Google that everyone is familiar with. So I would say there's a split in the sector with a huge dependency on technology where women leaders, more so entrepreneurs in technology, has a solid platform. And again, speaking of the current, as a result of COVID, where it's been more digitization and networking and empowerment, and like I said, a large focus on digital marketing. So although there are many consulting services companies with supported technology, it is minimal within custom development. So I'm always needing to create a differentiator around digital marketing that is is a subset of technology, and more so, I respect the enablement and empowerment of, within the coding front. However, at Aspire, we promote more development of mindset within database design and logic, understanding what is required in the back end. So I do find a gap within custom development and us not being recognized enough as a small company. But clearly on a platform like this, my appeal is more for enterprise-wide IT value within various framework. And then taking it back to the gender part, and I think we'll probably get a bit more into it later on, certain barriers, because that is more what it's seen like being a woman within a male-dominated industry. It comes with its own hurdles, but I'm also living proof that it can come with great support. So I think what we can establish is competition is minimal when it is understood what element of IT you are focused on. It's more inundated currently within digitization and marketing, where if I were to summarize what we focus on more, it is more within establishing the monitoring and control and standards within larger organizations.
Wow, Mush, thank you so much.
I'm giving you a mouthful, I know this. I try not to be overwhelming, but it's getting that message out there, and I'm sure even for yourself, there's always new things that you get to learn when you interact with various people.
Yes. I'm just in awe. I can't even explain. I'm like, yeah, I'm learning a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a start, eh?
Yeah, it is amazing interview. I am enjoying, even though it's still starting, but I can feel it that I hope viewers at home, they have pen and papers, they are writing these tips, because sometimes we think it is just easy as a business to just grow and be up there. As you said, the point that as a small business, if you are a small business, the opportunities are so rare to find sometimes, and you get the fact of a gender. So we will get into more details into that later. So is collaboration with other women important in your career space?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, with the explanation now, with trying to understand the various spheres, I find that the industry sectors, as I said before, are misunderstood. So to stay abreast with technology, we need to understand what the world needs and how quickly things are evolving. And you can only do that by means of collaboration, because as you just said now and confirmed that you learning, and there's going to be elements that, with certain questions that you probe with, that's going to spark certain ideas that could have been a gap for me over a period of time, and it might give me some food for thought. So collaboration is key within the current climate, mainly within the entrepreneurial space. I have a philosophy whereby I encourage networking to firstly expand my own understanding, and secondly, to eliminate the fear of being the little guy, because we also touched on being a small business. But the reality that with joint forces, we are able to share both risk and reward. So one of the elements that I always push out there to small businesses is, there are platforms that exist to tender for work at larger organizations. What scares a small business off is the requirements. What I encourage the smaller companies to do is to look at those requirements, and 98% of the time, those tenders for work that exist over a year to 2 years to 3 years, because longevity is key for the survival of small businesses. It creates sustainability, is to look a little further where there's an element of joint venture. And this aligns to collaboration. So if you are sitting with a skill set of 3 of those requirements, but there are 5, with collaboration, you'll generally find that there'd be more success. And why I say sharing both risk and reward, you look at it and you think to yourself, no, but it's so big, and if I'm not able to then, cover this, how am I going to do this? But if you've got another like-minded person that you join forces with and collaborate with, and this just being within consultation to see, let's try and understand if we can do this, or if we can't, it opens your mind. And therefore, it is definitely something within, again, the always evolving and ever-changing space for collaboration to remain. And I also share the philosophy that lifestyle meets technology. I spoke about digital marketing a little earlier. And I'm going to say that even the way we sit now, every single thing that we are reliant on has an element of technology. And therefore, collaboration is vital, and it's something that I promote continuously.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, as I was just reading more about you, I must confess, I was like, yeah, I think in collaboration you are good in that, because in your company, guys, you also offer the internship. You would be looking into offering the internship. For now, you are focusing into learnerships, so that is so important. I think when we are about to end, you can just give us maybe where they can get more of your details, how those who are at home right now, they want to get engaged into those learnership. So thank you so much, Mush. So what was the toughest challenge in your career thus far, and how did you manage it? Like
when I'm asked this question, I'm going to say that it always changes, because at the time, you remember 1 or 2 or 3 of the toughest, but when you get into the forum and you actually see the topic that you're busy with, it changes, and I kind of tend to align. And like the pre-discussion that we had, it's a word that you'll hear me use often, and that is authenticity, is I try and just prepare about 10% and go with it as we get along. So your question being toughest challenge in my career thus far. Okay. So having so many doors closed, seeing that we focused on small businesses and how tough it is to actually get into that competitive market. And I've realized it's based on the lack of understanding of offerings and possibly what's needed. So we live in a world where if you are too cheap or your solution seems too easy, you find you need to take so much more time to build trust. And the reality is that time has a real impact when you are starting out. So being a woman made it a lot harder. But I've been blessed, again, in my current space with a great support from Mike. But on leading up to the partnership, it was the fact that I also needed to prove myself within a male-dominated space, walking into a boardroom that was predominantly men around me, and needing to not just, sometimes when you are seen as well-spoken, it becomes to your detriment, because it's like within sales. So are you a salesman, or do you truly believe in what it is that we need from you? Hence me saying being too cheap and the solution seeming too easy. But that was me trying to find my way and middle ground on the value add. So another philosophy that I say that supports that is, I know it sounds difficult, but if at first you don't succeed, try again. Failure is seen as such a negative, but it provides a platform of opportunity and in this, lessons of growth. So for me, it was the element of that motivated me, that failure of, going to meeting 1, meeting 2, meeting 3, needing to repeat myself, not even knowing if I had fuel to go to that next meeting, but pushing myself to understand what the challenges were going to be with the path ahead. So that is definitely something I'd highlight in this platform.
Wow. So failure is no. Even if you don't make it twice.
Like I said, there was an instance that came to mind now with starting up where I remember myself sitting and saying, gosh, how far is it that I need to get to? Because I remember they were about 22 kilometers away from where I was. And I was like, okay, so I need to still run this errand and that. Am I going to have enough fuel? So it gets you down, and we can focus on the negatives. But I also had to remind myself that I put in so much effort already that going again for the last time and knowing that I gave it my all is the part that held me high, and it kept me pushing ahead.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. I hope viewers at home, you are writing. You cannot just allow yourself to give up like that. You have to keep on pushing. So things, they might not be so easy, but we should always try by all means not to give up on what we have told ourselves that we can make it. So for family and friends and ingredients in success, is that statement true or false to you? And can you please just expound on that?
Oh, I'm gonna have to, because thinking of it as true and false becomes a mixture. I'm kind of that person that always plays in the middle ground. So I'm going to say that it plays a part within your well-being, and although support is great within both spaces, friends and family, but it shouldn't be your defining factor. I think although a network is needed, and I've come to the reality of quality over quantity, that has become a more important focus point for me. So again, a contradiction in the current climate, and more again, social media and social standards. The world we live in and the young emerging adults focus on followers and likes. And technically, this is made up of a bit of both. So probably 10%, the rest belongs to their interest on social media. So if you were to ask me what it is and if they play a part, yes, they do. but both in a good and a bad way. And I always highlight this because if we look at the entrepreneurial space, and I go back to when I matriculated, there were only 4 or 5 key factors that I had to consider before I actually found my passion. Did I want to go into law? Was I looking at accounting? Medicine wasn't something in my skill set. But if I were to go back, is it something that I would look at? So we always focused on that professional career. And where does that actually come from? Is that not an element of your family and your friends and their expectation? So does that actually, does that aid your success? To some people, yes. I know of many doctors within the generation that I'm in now that are actually in technology. They got their medical degree, they did the internships as they were supposed to, and now they're actually more focused on robotics and expanding the medical industry. So when I actually asked one of the doctors, but why did you study medicine? And he was like, no, my dad's a doctor and my mom's in the industry as well. So look at the influence. So an ingredient for success, definitely, because it's a foundation. However, what you choose, it's being proven again. It's an element for you to create your own destiny. So sorry that I'm not able to do true and false, but I'm definitely going with the gray area here.
Yeah, creating your own choice. That is good. That is powerful. Yeah, no, you answered me very well. I hope even the viewers at home a lot.
I hope so. It's that mindset of why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Because is it the influence of the family and friends? And it's taking that moment to ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing for me?
Wow. So is there a work or life balance? Can you give us maybe some tips?
I can give you some tips of what we do, like on the cuff, because I'm going to say when you do become involved and a partner at a company of your own, you generally become married to work. So I've needed to unlearn lots of things because it came with a lot of hardship. And at Aspire, we pride ourselves in our culture, whereby we consider our environment to be one that is of empathetic leadership and more so family. So although we have really tight deadlines, and I might live and breathe for the success of our projects, we need to constantly ask ourselves what we aim to achieve. So as an example, Mike loves playing golf. So what I've done of late is, I know golf is generally on the Thursday. I've put a reminder every second Thursday, so 2 Thursdays of a month, just to say golf and book it out for the full day. So I've created the meeting request in his calendar to remind him that it's coming. And if he's about to miss it, it's to schedule it for the next one. So time with family is motivated because we are human first and we're all striving for something. And this becomes pointless if the end goal is not with the focus of health, well-being, and family time. So the answer to create work-life balance can start with the smallest thing. It's taking an hour of the day. And if an hour seems unrealistic, take 30 minutes for a walk, for a run. Make a cup of coffee without your mobile phone. Go and sit outside. I mean, we are in a space now where some of us are working from home occasionally, or you are office bound, but find a space that actually inspires you and helps you switch off. And, even if it means your children, it's an element of concern and importance. So a school function that you need to attend, pin it in your diary, but take a half an hour or an hour extra. Spend that time with your kids. And if you need time alone, split that time. So with the last half an hour, you are actually focusing on you. Or honestly, see it as a reset. So your mindset should be as planned as the work ahead. With a reminder to yourself or question, as I stated before, asking yourself, well, what am I doing it for? Your meeting can be pushed out by a day. It really changes the outcome. But what is vital is for you to, the amount of effort and planning you put into your job, make sure that you're at least giving yourself a quarter of that back. because that reset allows for your mind to actually open up. So I've just thought about it. Sorry, I do this impromptu thing. I was asked yesterday to send a quote through on work-life balance and how we look at things. And I might just share it, with your panel as well. And the quote that I wrote was, introspection allows for your creation of your own theme park. Choose your rides, choose failure over regret, and more so, allow for learnings to be the driver of opportunity. Because this way, if you find a motto of something that you enjoy, and I was able to write this because I took 30 minutes to reset. It does follow through with a few other things, but not necessarily for this platform. However, it allowed me to reflect on myself. And at the time, I felt as if I was undone and on a roller coaster. But I took that and I put it into a box of a theme park. I could then dissect it and ask myself what is important. So I'm hoping that becomes a bit of a tip to everyone or anyone who's listening, and it becomes of value to you.
Indeed, it is. It is. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we sometimes, as you said before, that when you get married with your work and you're so focused that you forget about your time, just your own time to sit by yourself, even if it's 30 minutes. I know that when other people, when they start to work, they just work. I know they won't even check the time to go home. They will come maybe at home around 3 a.m. and then you haven't seen the kids, all those things. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mush. Yeah, as a woman leading in your career, how is it important, like a mentorship? How is it important to you, is the mentoring?
Okay, so again, within my experience and in my past to, where I've gotten to, without mentoring, there will be a gap of purpose. And this is to me personally. So we evolve in life as parents, we mature. What purpose is there without mentoring? What purpose is there without me sharing it and me saying that there is something to learn in failure where I'm not willing to share my failure and be that bit of a net to somebody else? So we do it daily, again, in reference to our culture at Aspire. Yes, there are job titles that exist, but if you were to ask any of our staff members to define the tasks, that's going to take a while, because we ensure that the life cycle required to fulfill client satisfaction is actually embodied within all of us at Aspire. So further extended, knowing that we pride ourselves in accepting consistent chaos, because it does get a bit overwhelming at times, but we've developed a plan to support our environment with the rapid development and implementation we sell to our clients. So if we don't understand what it is we're doing for our clients and how quickly we want to get it out, there needs to be mentorship with people that are on board and people that's part of Aspire. And it's kind of why we focus on the Aspire Academy with the learnerships and internships that we'll get into a bit further along the line. But within tech, there's this huge word called methodologies, and it's aligned to ensure that there are specific outcomes. But of the later years, agile methodology is often used within the industry, which in layman's terms is the ability to move really quickly. At Aspire, it is important to ensure that our way of work, which has been deemed of value, is taught within the youth and the aspiring future of technology. So in a nutshell, why I agree to forums like this is to shed light to the realities of life and awareness that a key purpose to mentor and uplift either assist someone else or it motivates more like-minded women to mentor. So I have a circle within IT, a very small one, and I can easily say without mentors such as Louise Wolseley, Shirley Morse, Derek Smith also being one of my lecturers in the past, they established the importance of experience and support for me. So naturally, years later, I need to do the same. I cannot watch people around me make the same mistakes, or you find that in the current generation, it's a lot longer, that they'll take longer to adapt, and what they tend to do is jump in and jump out immediately. So without the support of the mentors that I had, I am really trying to reach out to mentor anyone within the industry that is looking for that support or is stuck, but more so to motivate other women with any form of experience, because I think that's what we disregard. Women do not just have the experience of building success. Success can be defined as a woman within a household who is needing to be there and emotionally support her kids, her husband, her mother, the family around her. So empathy and the quality of what we teach as women becomes a natural inclination for why it's important to me and why I urge that other women out there take that skill, because trust me, you feel that you do more for those that you are mentoring, but there's always an element that you learn in return.
Wow. All right. This is amazing. You know, I'm just like, yeah, sometimes we think when we look at mentorship, it's only one way. Now we are just learning that even when you, who is mentoring someone, you are also getting growth into that particular conversation that you are mentoring the person. And as well, that at home, the mentorship as well, it goes back even at home. So we look at it as sometimes in a professional way. We don't look at it at our homes. We look to mentor out people outside, but we leave our own children into mentorship. So thank you so much for those things. We really appreciate. In closing, what is your last message of hope and inspiration to our viewers at home?
My hope is a message of love. I say this because if in your home you are sharing and giving love, it gives the next person purpose. Whatever it is that they can be dealing with, if you are showing a line of empathy with a thought to just listen or ask somebody how they are doing, or reach out and actually just have any act of kindness related to love, we are then on the forefront of repairing the current world and the way we see things with the terror and horror around us. If we are able to do this by any kind form, we are on the way to recovery. So reach out to women, reach out to not just ones that you see as beneficial or those that are successful, because they all needed to start somewhere. And the one thing that we all are women. So we are women who are mothers, sisters. We are there to support our colleagues. Use that line and use who you are to enable someone with an act of kindness, and this becomes a solid platform on healing.
Wow. All right. Wonderful. You know, when you were speaking even about mentorship, another thing that I just like as you are talking, I remember is like impartation. So to impart that to others as well, so that we 100%. We keep on growing as women. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to our Power Talk, Mush. That is the ending of our beautiful interview with a wonderful woman, Mush. Viewers at home, thank you so much. Please be welcome to like our Facebook page, American Corner Cape Town. Stay tuned for more interviews as we continue our Power Talk the whole month of August with different women who are making difference in our communities. So thank you for honoring our invitation and your time to be interviewed in this amazing interview. So thank you so much. We don't take it for granted.
No, I truly appreciate it. I love the fact that you are allowing for a voice. And as you did mention earlier, if anyone is interested in having a look on what it is that we have on offer, if they can head over to our website, which is www.aspiresolutions.co.za. There is an info page also. And please, no question is a silly one, so please send that through. Thank you once again for the opportunity. And I hope there was some value to the listeners. Take care.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely there is, because I'm one of those.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.